What is going on YouTube? Fizzle here, bringing you something different on my channel. I'm going to bring you a how-to today on how to make one of these bad boys right here. One of these overlays that I use on my my Pokemon that Let's Plays and Nuzlocke and everything. And here's the other one that's going to be coming up here soon. But I'm going to show you guys how to make one. And this is going to be my Blaze Black 2. So you guys will get a nice sneak peek at my Blaze Black 2 overlay that's going to be coming up when I do that, or that start of that Nuzlocke. And let's go ahead and get started on this. So I'm going to open up this folder. I've already got one folder in here. It's the badges folder. It's got all my badges for this game. They're just kind of jumbled up right now. I'll get to them later. But what we're going to do is you're going to need a few folders. Like in this one, how it has a few folders. It has the Pokemon folder, which is going to have Pokemon in it. The team folder, which is its own thing. The badges folder, and the screens folder. Then we got the wallpaper. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing in this one. So we're going to close that up. And what we're going to need to do is we're going to make a new layer. Make sure it's inside our Blaze Black, and it's going to be the bottom layer. So what you're going to want to do first, actually, is it's going to be a new, and you're going to want to have width at 1280 and height at 750. I think 720 is what you want, actually. No, mine auto sets to 750, so I guess 1280 by 750 is what I'm using for some weird reason. That's an awkward number. So we're going to go ahead and go with that, and what we're going to do now is we're going to File, and we're going to Place. We're going to pick a background. So I already have the background that I picked for this one. I think this is what I was going to use, so we're just going to go ahead and place this. And we're going to have to outstretch that, so never mind, we're not going to use that one. We're going to say delete, and we're going to File. We're going to Place. We're going to pick one of these Zekrom backgrounds I have, because this is going to be Blaze Black 2, so it is going to have Zekrom in it. I think we're going to do this one. I kind of like the way this one looks. Just gives me a nice little Zekrom, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take each corner real fast and stretch out just a bit to get rid of that nasty little look around the picture. We're going to place that. So that's going to give us our background. So that's going to be step one. Now, step two is actually getting the screens on there. So you're going to find out where you're going to want to put your screens. And on this one, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to put the Pokemon at the bottom again like I did last time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my first screen right about here. So you're going to pick the size you want your screen to be. And mine's going to be roughly that big. So that's going to be my screen. And I'm just going to leave it a big black square for right now so I can see it. And it's just there. It's in the way. So we're going to take this thing right here again. This is the Shapes tool. We're going to make sure we get the rectangle. And we're going to put our second screen. And our second screen is going to be right here. I kind of want this Zekrom showing because I like to have something showing in my my background. So that's going to be my Zekrom right there. So there we go. We got Zekrom showing. He's up in the corner. He looks all cool and everything. And now we're going to start the next step. So the next step in this would be, real fast, just go ahead and make a folder. Totally the wrong button. We're going to make a folder. We're going to title this Screens. And we're going to take both of our screens and just put them in there. We're actually going to put the smaller one on top so we know that that's the smaller one. So we can move the screens one now. We can lower it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the 6 boxes that our Pokemon are going to be in. So we're going to take this tool again, and we're going to make ourselves a tiny little box about yay big. It's a black little box. That'll do. So now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this layer. And then we're going to hold Shift, and we're going to drag it over. And we're going to put about this much space in between each one. So just constantly duplicate the layer and drag it on over. And I butchered something there, so I'm going to hold Shift, drag it sideways. That looks too big, so what we're going to do is we're going to I'm going to put it right about there. And duplicate it, hold Shift, drag it sideways. I'm going to duplicate this one. Hold Shift, drag it sideways, and one last time. So we have 6 Pokemon. Just line this one up with the end here. So you can work them around. I'm just gonna leave them how they are because I'm not too picky when it comes down to it. I might bump this one out just a bit. I don't know. Move this one in just a smidge. So about right there. See, now that looks about right. So they're all roughly about the same distance apart. I know there's this one weird gap right here that's just always like that is for me for some reason. So we got our 6 Pokemon. And last but not least, we need to open up our badges page. We need to create a new layer. Need to put it in our badges folder, and it should drop it straight to the bottom. And we're going to pick a spot for our badges now. So we're going to take our rectangle tool, and we're going to go ahead and put our badges down here. Just going to put all of our badges down here. And I guess it totally didn't want to, so we're going to cancel. This is our... Okay, so we got our badges square now. We got all of our badges. So what we want to do is we want to get all of our badges lined up in the correct order here. So we got first, second, third, fourth. Or no. This would be first. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to move it real fast. We're going to want to move it over. Control Z, hold shift. Move it over. We're going to want to Control Z. Alright, there we go. Grab the second badge. Put it in so it snaps in its place. Grab the third badge. Put it in so until it snaps in its place, which is right here. And fourth, the Volt badge. It should snap in. We actually need to Control T the Volt badge just slightly so it looks about the same size as the others. Because it was looking a bit small. Get our fifth badge, the Quake badge over here. Just kind of drag it in. Whatever this friggin' badge is. Yep, that's the one we need next. And we're going to put this one in right here. Going to get our next badge, this thing right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One of these badges is incorrect. So what we're going to do is we're going to go here. I had to look at this real fast. We actually need to remove this one right here. So this badge can actually be removed. So what we're going to do is we're going to trash that one. That's incorrect. We need this badge next. It's going to get dragged into its spot and then moved over slightly. So right about here. And last but not least, this badge. So now that we got our 8 badges and about the way they're supposed to be, what we're going to do is we're going to click on that one, Control Shift, get all of them, and we're going to move them all at once. We're going to put them in here. So we're going to Control T all of them as well. Make them a bit bigger. Give us a better idea of what our badges are going to look like. So we're going to place them like that, and we're going to apply. So all of our badges are placed now. They're all the size they need to be. Actually, I'm going to make them a bit smaller, just a tad bit, smidgen here. You'll see why in a minute. And now our badges are in. So this is the rough idea, and I know it looks really bad right now, but just give me a minute. I'm going to show you some stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove each one of these. We're going to start with this this rectangle down here. So actually what I want to do is I want to minimize this and get rid of all that. I want to get rid of that and get rid of that. First things first, we're going to want to take these, and we're going to want to merge visibles. So all of those are the only things visible now. So now when we do this, everything's going to come back. And we got these. So we're going to make a new folder. I'm going to make 2 folders now because one of them got messed up. This one's going to be called Blaze Black 2. And it's going to go at the very top. What we're going to do is we're going to drag our background in. We're going to drag our rectangles in. We're going to drag our screens in. Once again, drag our rectangles in. Put that at the bottom, and then drag our badges in. So everything should be in this Blaze Black folder now. And it should be back in the correct position. Except for screen. Screen should be right there. And badges should be at top. Okay, so we're going to make one more folder. And we're going to call this folder Team. We're going to put our screens in Team. And now we should be able to do that, and everything should be good to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the badges now. And we're going to go down here to this rectangle. And we are going to do some blending options. So my first blending option is I'm going to give it a stroke. And I'm going to make that stroke white, keep the stroke at 3. It just gives it this nice little white outline. I'm going to give it a inner shadow. And we're going to make that shadow white. and see if that does anything. Increase the opacity. It doesn't look like there's much you can do with black. Like, it just does not want to do anything, so we're not going to do anything. It's just going to look pretty plain. We'll give it like a bevel. Like, there we go. We give it the bevel, we can actually see our shadow, so. Distance. No, that's just the bevel. Contour. To give it more brightness, because like I said, this is a black. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a drop shadow. We're going to make the drop shadow white. Possibly opacity 100. We're going to increase the size, and you can't see it. So white's just not a choice in drop shadow, I guess. So we're going to make it like a gray. Or we're going to go back to black. And we're going to hit OK. And we're going to pick a new distance. Right there. That just looks really bad. We're going to keep the distance 0 and the size increased. That doesn't do anything. Okay, so we're going to go back to our inner shadow. And I think the fact that we picked white was the problem. So we're going to pick something like Zekrom's colors. So we're going to pick this blue. We're going to hit OK. So we're going to find our size, our distance. So now we're not going to get anything on our inner shadow because we're using black. So we're just going to go the stroke, and the bevel and bows, and the drop shadow is going to be removed as well. So just bevel and bows and stroke. It's nothing too fancy, nothing too crazy. So our next step is actually to take each one of these and hit shift on all of them. So now we have all of them matched. And the effects that I use on them are inner shadow and drop shadow, just so that gives it that little pig. But the drop shadow is not going to work because we are on black, so just inner shadow is all you're going to see. But what we're going to do is we're now going to hold control, and you notice how this little thing pops up, the marquee tool. So we're going to hold control and shift, and we're going to pick each one of these. And when we have all 8 of them picked, what we're going to do is we're going to create new layer. That's going to go up the top. So we're now going to go to select up here at the top. We're going to go to modify, and we're going to expand. We're going to expand it by 2. So that should expand the size of those. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open this. We're going to pick white, and we're going to take our paint bucket, and we're going to fill those in. And now all of our badges are covered. See? So our next step is to get off the marquee tool, and we're going to do the same thing again to each one of these. Somehow I missed this one. So when we get all of these, what it's going to do is it's going to make them look smaller. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back up to our layer 3 right here, and we're going to delete. What that's going to do is that's going to allow us to come in here, and we can actually remove a badge, and now we have this empty little space for the badge to fit in. So this gives us our badge outline. It allows us to put our badges up as we go through, or go along our story. So there's our badges, and we're done with this whole section now. So what we're going to do is we're going to minimize that. And now we're going to go work on team. So for team, all of these should be the same now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a quick blending option, and we're going to give it a stroke. And we're going to go into our stroke section, and we're going to change it to white. And we're just going to leave it how it is, because when the screens come in, it'll all come into play, and it'll all kind of match up. So what we're going to do now, actually, is we're going to grab this. We're going to go back into our screens. We're going to grab this one right here, and we're going to grab it. We're actually going to try to move it real fast. We're going to hold control so we have a little bit of control where we move it to. It's going to go right there. And then our we're going to grab our bottom screen, and we're going to hit control again. Z. We're going to grab our bottom screen. And that's not what I wanted. I want to grab my bottom screen. I'm going to hit Z. And then I'm going to try to line it up right there, and it's going to go right here. And now that's going to give me this whole base idea. So I'm going to actually grab my whole badges real fast, and I'm going to move that a bit. So right about there. So that looks a bit cleaner, a bit smoother. So now we got our Pokemon, which this is going to become pretty much the easier part here in a minute. And we're actually going to go into that, which is our team. We're going to hit Control T. And this is why I got it all lined up early, so that I could actually make them a bit smaller. Move the button, or hold the control button and move them around. We're going to line them up about right there. So that's where our team's going to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place that. We're going to apply it. And now we are going to work on our screens. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to right-click each one of these, and you're going to want to rasterize layer and rasterize layer. So the next step is to pick this one, and we're going to take our marquee tool. Make sure it's on rectangle by holding the left mouse button. And you're going to drag it, and you're going to find the point in which you like the sizing. And I like mine right about there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the delete button, and then I'm actually going to click on my background. I'm going to make sure that my background is also rasterized, and I'm going to hit the delete button again. And then I'm going to repeat the same process on the small one right here on our bottom screen. And then I'm going to hit the delete button and the delete button. So now I have both of these layers set and built. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take each one of them, and I'm just going to give each one of them a simple little stroke. And our blending options, just going to give them the white stroke that I've been giving to everything. We're going to hit OK. And we're actually going to take this and we're going to hit copy layer style. Go on this one, paste, and paste layer style. So it's just going to get the exact same thing. And now we have a base outline for all of our thing. We can just add in a few more pictures. We can go into our badges folder, turn on any badges if we get them. So that looks good. And the last thing we're going to do is last thing in Teams. So we're going to close our screens now because that's all done. So we're going to go in Teams, and I'm going to show you what to do. So pretty much what you're going to do in Teams is you're going to go here and you're going to paste a new layer. Or get a new layer, and you're going to go in here and you're going to go to place. And since the only Pokemon I know are off the top of my head, I have Fizzle. And then there might be one more on the front screen. There's not, so I got a Fizzle. No, I got Hoppip. So we're going to place Fizzle because Fizzle's slightly different from Hoppip. Hoppip is already set as a PNG. Now, if you get a picture like this that's not set as a PNG, which means if it's a PNG, it's not going to have this white background around it. But it's a real easy fix. What you're going to do is you're going to go over to the layer right here. You're going to rasterize it, and you're going to take your magic wand tool right here, and you're going to click on it and each section, and you're going to delete the white. And voila, there you go. You've got your what would look like a PNG now. So what you're going to do is you're going to Control T your Pokemon, and you're going to position him in there a way that you think looks good. So I like it right about here. So we're going to grab him, and we're going to place this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our marquee tool, make sure it's the rectangle marquee tool, and you're going to find a point on here, and you're going to drag this across, and you're going to delete. And you're going to do this for every corner and section that has a piece sticking out, so that it looks like he's coming out, or he's inside the square. So it cuts off his parts of his body, he looks like he's inside the square. And now all you have to do is, one more step, is to take text, and add a text. And I'm using the Pokemon Solid, which you can download at Defont. Just go to defont.com, type in Pokemon, or Pokemon Solid. I'm not sure which one you have to type in, but you'll get it, and then you can come up with a name. We're just going to give him Fizzle, like he is in my other one. So this is going to give me my text. So now what I would do is I'd put my text right here, and then I would go into blending options, and I would start working with it. I'd first off give it a stroke so I can see it. And now that it's got the stroke, I think that and maybe a inner shadow. And I would go to my inner shadow section and make sure it's not too high. And it's not. I like the 5 and 5. It looks good. We're going to go back to the 75% inner shadow because it looked good. I like that. And this right here would be my my text. And I would just line it up where I think it looks best, right about here. You can read the word Fizzle. And there you go. So it's as simple as that, everybody. You can add anything else to this you want. I mean, if you want to put like a face cam or something up here, like what I would do is I would go to the background and I would take like text. And I would just go up here real fast and be like youtube.com/Fizzle plays. And then I would leave it how it is. I would go over to it. Blending options, I would just give it my simple black stroke. I would grab it, put it in like the corner or something. Then I do have one more thing I was going to do. It is on my desktop, so I would actually file, place, this, where is it? I got one more picture that I had just specifically for this. It was some text. Oh, there it is, right there. So what I would do is I'd grab this. It's just a PNG of these. I would hit place. I would take my marquee tool. I would get a good positioning. I would get rid of the Volt White because that's not the one I'm playing. I forgot to rasterize it. Then I would hit the delete button, and I would be left with this Blaze Black, in which I would put under my screens. As always, I would hit Control T, size it up, and I would put it somewhere like right here. and I would call that good. And there we go. See, just something simple like that, and you can put whatever you want in, just the blaze black so you know which game I'm playing. And then you can constantly open and close different things, make it simple for yourself. Just things like that. It's really not that hard to do. Only thing you need to do now is make sure you save this as a PNG, not a JPEG, not anything else. Just save it as a PNG. And also save a second one as the original Photoshop, the PSD. That way you can come in and you can change it up whenever you want. You can make multiples like I have. So like I said, I can switch between these. I mean, I can pull out this one. I can pull out this one. I can go into this one. I got different ones. So there you go, guys. That's how you make a background overlay for Pokemon. If there's anything else you guys want to know how to make, just hit me up. I'm pretty good with Photoshop. I understand most things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope it's informative. I hope you enjoy seeing the preview of my next 2 Let's Play Pokemons. I might do Nuzlocke in those one. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do Nuzlocke, though. Nuzlocke. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and as always, YouTube, peace out.